Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode of the Charlie Newhart Show. Like and subscribe if you like real content. If not, just get off. I want to thank everybody that gave this week. PayPal, Cash App. Y'all know who y'all are. I thank you for the gifts. Appreciate it. That means y'all appreciate real game. Appreciate that, man. You can find the link below in the description box. You know what I'm saying? This week I was thinking about Master Splinter and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was a rat that was always wet that Turtles took advice from. I feel like the dude who created the Ninja Turtles was high at the time. Who thinks of a wet rat that always gives great advice to a team of mutant turtles that are ninjas? I don't know about y'all, but I'm not listening to no wise wet rat. I don't know. And for whatever reason, he was always wet. Is that because he came out the sewer? Like a full-grown wet rat comes out of the sewer and is all wise and can teach people how to fight. Dog was high. He had to be. Shout out to Master Splinter. I know a bunch of wet rats out here. Master Splinter was a wise wet rat. What else do I have? I feel like a lot of times when men ask women to take Plan Bs, it's not just because he don't want to have a kid. It's because he just don't want to have a kid by you. Either you crazy or you're just not, easy on the eyes. So sometimes a dude asks a woman to take a Plan B because he don't want an ugly kid. And he just didn't get out in time. If a man blasts in a very attractive, successful, mentally sane woman, he's not going to ask her to take a Plan B. Like, you know what? I want to have this kid. This kid's going to be beautiful, successful, and mentally stable. I think about any time in my life where I asked a woman to take a Plan B, it was because of one of those things. Either she wasn't attractive, she wasn't mentally stable, or she just wasn't successful at all. She was broke, and it was just supposed to be a quick smack, and it turned into a whole ordeal. Like, oh my God, you are? Let's put this Plan B in your orange juice in the morning. And they don't always work. Plan Bs don't always work. I've had some scares. I've had some scares where you spit the $50 on the Plan B, and then she said, "Oh, it didn't work." And and then that's where the fear sets in. Like, oh my God, is this going to be an ugly kid, or is this going to be a mentally ill kid like their mama, or is this going to be a broke kid? I have a theory. Michigan women, or black women in Michigan versus black women in California. Black women in Michigan. First of all, if you a black woman that's a 10 in Michigan, you probably a 5 or a 6 in California. That's just the reality. Also, too, I feel like black women in Michigan, when they get a degree, or let's just say you get a certificate to be a CNA. First of all, you've been struggling. Let's paint a picture. Tamika has been struggling for years. Dropped out of high school, got her GED. She had to drop out because she had a kid. Gets her GED. Mama and aunties, they all see all these single women around her. Mamas, aunties, everybody. None of them got a man. But it's a house full of kids and women, and everybody got a bunch of advice. So they're encouraging Tamika, don't worry about it, girl. He ain't no good. You going to get it together. You got your GED? Good. Next thing you need to do, get your CNA certificate, girl. Get your CNA certificate, up your money. Family gets behind Tamika. She gets her CNA certificate. Now she's in blue scrubs all the time. Every time you see her, she in blue scrubs. Now she got enough money to get a 2016 Malibu with a 17% interest rate. She paying $700 a month for a 2016 Malibu. Tamika done came up. She in blue scrubs, 2016 Malibu. You know what I'm saying? And then now the family's on her like, Now you need to take Curtis to child support court. For real. He need to be paying. Now that you done got yourself together, Tamika takes Curtis to child support court. They hit Curtis upside the head. He got to pay $800 a month for one kid. That's a reality too, especially in Michigan. Curtis paying $800 a month, no matter if he says, hey, look, well, I want to spend time with the baby. You've been keeping him from me. Hey, let me keep him half the time. Judge rules against it. He's got to pay Tamika the $800 a month. Tamika then came up. All the aunties and everybody around her like, Meek, you done came up. You got your CNA certificate. You got your Malibu with the 17% interest rate. And now Curtis is paying $800 a month. You know what you need to do next, girl? Get you a condo in Royal Oak. Ain't nobody going to be able to tell you nothing. Tamika she secured the $800 a month bag. She got the car. She go get the condo in Royal Oak. Now when you see Tamika out, you can't tell her nothing at all. So then now you try to holler at Tamika. She ain't got no time for you. She got an attitude. You ain't nobody, man. I got a condo in Royal Oak. Curtis paying $800 a month. And I got a Malibu with a 17% interest rate. What can you do for me? She's so blinded, she can't even see the value that a man can bring to her because she got all these aunties, these aunties with no men. See, this is how I feel. You can't value, sometimes, not all the time, it's hard for someone to value something when they don't even know what it is. You could have a diamond in your hand that maybe have like some residue or something on it. And if you don't recognize that if I get this residue and all this stuff off, the diamond is underneath, then you won't even recognize what's in your hand. And that's how a lot of women, especially in Michigan, are mismanaging certain relationships, friendships, or when a dude approaches them, like they never saw a strong man growing up. You know, they never had an example of a godly, strong, present father in their life. So you see them when they're out. You try to talk to them like, hey, how you doing? What's your name, young lady? Whatever. Hey, why you got all that attitude? Tamika, 17% interest rate with a condo because you didn't just hit a lick on Curtis for $800 a month. Now you got an attitude? That's Michigan, black women. Not all, but a large percentage. Can't tell them nothing. Flip side, you go to California. You got a black woman in California who has a master's degree. And she making $250,000 a year, either as an investment banker or producer, right? She got a high rise downtown and she's driving a brand new Benz. And guess what? Black men ain't checking for her at all. She's ignored. She's a full 10, body slapping. She's mentally stable. Nice car with a decent interest rate because her credit ain't trash. Beautiful home, great job, just an amazing person. Black dudes ain't checking for her because in California, the black dudes is checking for all Kim Kardashian looking chicks. Or Mexicans. And there's all these beautiful black women in California that's just being ignored. I'm talking about quality 10s, tall, got their head on their shoulders, and they just like, black men ain't checking for us. I'm telling you. You ask most attractive black women in California, and they'll tell you that most black men ain't checking for them. And it's crazy. And you take Tamika from Michigan as a 10. As soon as she gets to Cali, she's an automatic 6. What happens to her when she see these black dudes ain't checking for her? Like that attitude will go away. Because she used to have an attitude because everybody in Detroit is popping at her. What's up, baby? What's up, Malibu? I see you. What's up? You know, that's how we do as black dudes. We holler at a woman based on something that we see, the car she get out of, her hair, her outfit. What's up, green shirt? I see you. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Malibu? I see you. Oh, 17% interest rate? Oh, you must went to go see the Arabs on 8 Mile. 17% interest rate with a switch on it. They didn't got you. You know what I mean? The Arabs on 8 Mile in the city. First of all, Arabs selling cars in the city, you hit. Because they're going to put you in whatever you want. Legacy Motors, all of them. They're going to put you in whatever you want and make you pay for it. Trust me, I know. My dad had a car lot in Southwest Detroit for years, and we was very successful because, we wasn't trying to take you for all your money, man. And we had to re-educate you. Look, you got $2,500, Tamika. Why would you put $2,500 down on a 2016 Chevy Traverse with 100,000 miles on it at a 20% interest rate? I could do that and take your money, but why would I do that to you? So let me re-educate you. Tamika, you got your CNA license. I'm happy for you. Listen, instead of you giving me this $2,500 for a 2016 Traverse, why don't you give me that $2,500? Actually, let me save you some money. Give me $2,000, and I'll put you in a 03 Impala that runs and drives great. And there's no car note, no interest rate. And you drive that for 3 years and stack up the money. The money you was going to give me for that Traverse every month at a 20% interest rate with $2,500 down. Why don't you keep that, stack it, come see me in a year, trade in this Impala, because I know it's going to last a year. I inspected it. I drove it. I took it to the mechanic. I know it's going to last. Drive it a year, stack up your money, come see me, trade in this Impala, bring me the money you stack. Let's upgrade. That's the re-education process. That's why I wish we still had the car lot, because instead you go see Habibi on 8 Mile. He going to take your $2,500, put you in a 2015 Malibu, 20% interest rate, $900 a month, and you had decent credit, and the car got 180,000 miles on it, and it ain't going to last. Or a lot of them are selling you cars, especially through credit acceptance. They selling you cars with the intent on repoing it from you. It's a dirty game, especially in the city. But you can't tell Tamika nothing in that 2016 Malibu. She just went and got some braids. She'd have just hit Curtis for $800 a month in child support. She got a condo in Royal Oak now. Try to holler at Tamika at a Starbucks. She frying you, whatever. You see me in these blue scrubs? Okay. I'd love to see how you act in California, because you're getting ignored. And then not only that, the competition is crazy. You attend in Detroit, you get to Cali. What's that CNA? You compete with women who are investment bankers making $400,000 a year. A producer, you compete with a woman that's a producer on reality shows. She making $500,000 a year, got 2 cars, 3 houses, and a great attitude, because it's like, dang, black man ain't checking for me. So you give one of them some attention and talk to them, be nice. They're like, dang, you a black man checking for me? It's crazy what happens when you get outside your circle of influence. That's what bothers me when I see dudes going crazy over a female. Like, dude, it's women in Brazil you never even met. Most people, I wouldn't even plan on talking about this. Most people you see that are walking around with an attitude and they snapping at everybody and they complain all the time, 9 times out of 10, they are holding on to a relationship with one person that's making them bitter. And that one relationship is affecting all the other relationships around them, because they don't know how to make tough love decisions. Cut that horrible relationship loose. You've been complaining about it for 10 years. You married to a woman. She don't want to work. She complain all the time. She 4,000 pounds. She done cheated on you twice. She don't even take care of the kids at home. And you holding on to this because it's like, well, I am married, so I got to just figure it out. But you bitter and upset and disgusted with everybody around you. Every little thing gets on your nerve because you ain't willing to let go of that one relationship. Cut it out. Cut it out. Can't tell Tamika nothing in that Durango with that condo. Totally different story. I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. Whatever town, especially if you're in a Midwest town or something like that, man, go visit. I mean, I don't fully ascribe to the passport bros and everything that they got going on. Not everything, because it's like, it's some dude is 5'3", 300 pounds. He go to DR and he's just like, oh, these women out here different. Yeah, because you paying, okay? You can't really pull a quality chick nowhere, but you paying over in the DR. So now you think like, oh, all the women in the DR treat you right. Yeah, because you paying them. So that ain't really my story. I'm not into paying no broads. But Okay, let's go into would you rather. Would you rather, type it in the chat, would you rather be cockeyed or missing some side teeth? Which one would you rather have? If you had to choose, would you rather have one lazy, I'm talking about that Biggie Smalls eye. That's why, like him in Music Soul Child, that's why they always had on sunglasses. Would you rather have a Music Soul Child eye or missing a whole rack of side teeth? And if you was missing a whole rack of side teeth, would you rather get a partial or just get a whole completely new kit, like a veneers kit? You got to take care of the veneers. Veneers stink if you don't take care of them. You ever talk to somebody that had like a kit full of veneers in the front, and then they laugh, and then all of the back teeth is real gray and dark and disgusting, but the whole front is taken care of? Listen, if you get some veneers, take care of your back teeth. And get them veneers cleaned out every now and then because your breath smell like booty meat. Would you rather? Would you rather have 10 kids or herpes? Which one? Herpes never goes away. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know what it's like. I've never had an STD in my life, which I'm really lucky, but I got 1 million kids. I got 6 kids and 4 baby mamas. So the would you rathers, I'm kind of living one part of it. Would you rather have herpes that never goes away and you'll have to disclose it with every new partner? Hey, I just want to let you know that every now and then I may have a flare-up, and we won't be able to be intimate during the flare-up. Would you rather have that conversation with somebody or 6 kids and 4 baby mamas? Or if you're a woman, like just 6 kids and 4 baby daddies? Would you rather? Type that in the chat. Let me know. I want to get into engaging with people who live in their minds. It's kind of dangerous. It's kind of sad, though, when you're dealing with somebody who has a mental illness and they're prideful at the same time. It's they worship what's in their brain so much that they believe it. And you can't really tell them nothing. You know, those are some, it almost goes into narcissism. And I'm very careful with that word because I'm still studying it. I don't understand all aspects of it. There's so many different layers of narcissism. But I can tell you one for sure. Let's say a narcissist owes you $100, right? You gave them a loan. You loaned them $100. And they're supposed to pay you in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks goes down the road and they're supposed to pay you, and they'll call you and say, this is just a scenario. Hey, I need a ride to, and they'll call you last minute too. Hey, I need a ride to work today. My car broke down. Can you take me to work today? I got to be there in an hour. And you tell them no. Sorry, I got to be to work myself. I can't take you to work. This narcissistic person will say, oh, since you can't take me to work, I can't make no money. So then I can't pay you. It's going to be another 3 weeks or 4 weeks before I pay you, since you can't take me to work. Really? So your inability to get yourself to work to earn affects you paying me back? That's narcissism. And it's a hint of some strange mental illness in there too. It's a power mix. It's in the blender, in the smoothie. Drop a Plan B in there too. Maybe a Blue Rhino, gas station boner pill. Throw it all in the mix. That's a crazy power mix of dealing with a narcissist. Like, wait a minute. You owe me $100. You can't get to work. So you saying because you can't get to work because your car broke down, because I can't take you, now it's my fault you can't pay me back the $100 you owe me. And they had you so confused, it's almost gaslighting. Like, man, I don't want to have a conversation with this person. Narcissists are very tough to talk to because somehow they figure out a way to put the blame on you or either magnify themselves so much that now you confuse in the conversation. Like, oh my God. Now I can admit, prior to therapy, I probably entertained and behaved in some narcissistic type ways. Cause I was like, I'm so hurt. I had cancer when I was 15. I'm so hurt. I'm gonna just do whatever I want. And I'm justifying it because I had cancer at 15. I didn't ask for this. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm having sex with a bunch of different women because I've been hurt by so many women. You know, I had a woman try to unalive me, pop me, hurt my feelings, man. It hurt. So since I'm hurt, I have a right to behave this way. That's a narcissistic a thought process that therapy had to heal me from. Like, wait a minute, man. Just because I had cancer at 15 doesn't give me the right to, and I didn't think I was going to live to be 30. That's not a justification for making certain life choices. You know, or just because my ex tried to unalive me, that's not a reason for me to just mess with a bunch of different women just because I got wronged by one that I shouldn't have picked. So really, if you remove the narcissism from it and look at yourself like, dang, I'm the one that picked wrong. Everybody told me not to pick her and I picked. So it was my fault, nobody else's. So that's true humanity when you have the ability to take accountability for your own actions. Dudes be out here complaining about women that they chose. You chose the same woman 3 times with a different name. Work on yourself. So that's when you know somebody has removed narcissism from themselves and their environment, when they take accountability for their choices. I'll pick that. I'm the one. I didn't vet these people. I didn't vet her. I didn't take time. I didn't talk to her daddy. Oh, she didn't even have a daddy. That's where I'm at now with the young lady that I'm talking to. It's like, man, I met her father. We had a conversation. I met her family. You know people by observation, revelation, and recommendation. Observation, let me watch you for a while. Revelation, let me pray and talk to God. Recommendation, let me talk to the people around you. See what you want. What's up with this person? And take our times before we jump into these relationships. And I could admit, in my past, I just wasn't taking my time. I wasn't doing those 3 things. I'm just jumping into a relationship. That's my fault. That ain't nobody else's. So nobody else should suffer because of me picking wrong. So be on the lookout for that when you're talking to somebody. If they switch something on you to make it your fault, you owe me $100. And because I can't take you to work, now you got to wait to pay me because it's my fault for not being able to take you to work. Gaslighting, narcissism. It's weird. I'm telling you what else is weird. I was watching this movie called Cop and a Half with Burt Reynolds and the dude from The Wire. Man, I forgot his name, but he was a little boy. It was the 80s. A little black dude. He might be like 6 or 7 years old in the movie. Maybe let's say he was 10. He was like 10 years old in the movie, and Burt Reynolds was this cop. Man, if I can find a clip and put it in here, I will. I just don't want to get a copyright strike. But there's a scene in the movie this movie was in the 80s, where Burt Reynolds, the little boy's in the bathroom brushing his teeth. Somehow or another, this little black boy starts living with Burt Reynolds, who's a police officer. I don't know if his family just didn't care, like, hey, let me just give you to this white dude, whatever. But the little boy is in the bathroom brushing his teeth, and Burt Reynolds comes in and unzips his pants and starts peeing right in front of the boy. And then the boy looks at Burt Reynolds' penis like, wow. I'm like, I paused the movie like, dang, I watched this movie when I was younger. I never noticed that. You ever look at movies from the 80s and 90s and be like, dang, man, would that fly today? It's crazy. Because now in movies today, some of them are pushing a certain agenda. But then, and we say movies from the 80s and 90s was so great. It was so great, it wasn't, but it was like, dang, man, it was some weird stuff that popped on in the movies in the 80s and 90s too. My man's Burt Reynolds put his whole hot dog out in front of a 10-year-old boy. And then the little boy said, hey, let's play swords. Me and my friends do that. Look, the little boy wanted to cross peace streams with a grown man. I was like, man, look, Cop and a Half. I got this DVD. I don't even know how I was watching it. I got this old school DVD collection because I'm trying to show my kids some of the movies and TV shows I watched when I was a kid. Wonder Years, Cheers. What else I got on my wall? Stand By Me. Coming to America. Some scenes of Coming to America I couldn't show my kids, but like shows I watched growing up. Movies I watched, Cloak and Dagger, Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby. I noticed Bill Cosby always, in every TV show and movie, when he was pointing at people, he always did this. You got to, and now I'm watching these Cosby movies, even though they're great, but I'm like, man, how many broads was he hitting around this time? The American media has done an excellent job of helping us to reframe how we see Bill Cosby now. Cop and a Half, Burt Reynolds, the P scene. You got to watch it. What else do I have? You know, one of the ways that you can honor your parents? The Bible says to honor your mother and father so your days will be long on the earth. You know how you honor your parents? Staying out their pockets. That's how you honor your people, man. Be successful in what you called to do. If you success, that's the way to honor your parents. My oldest daughter, when I moved to Cali, she also moved and she got a job on this TV show called The Real. She worked for free, backstage designing contestants. I don't know how she even finessed to get this job, but she was just like, I'll volunteer my time. I'm a clothing designer. She'd been designing clothes, her own clothing line since she was 18. So she's working as a clothing designer, designing all the people before they go on stage for free on The Real. She did that for like 4 or 5 months. Driving to LA. Now I lived about an hour and a half from LA. She would drive every day, maybe not every day, 4 or 5 days a week to this show, right? And they just fell in love with her because she got a great personality. She's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And while she was there, a woman pulled her to the side like, I love what you do. I love your attitude. I want you to work on American Idol. Now, in order to work on American Idol, you got to be in the union. You a barber?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Shay. I cut hair here at Red Carpet Cuts in Highland, California. Click the link below to book an appointment so I can hook you up.
Okay, so the American Idol story. So this lady saw my daughter working on The Real and was like, look, you got a great attitude, great look, love your energy. I want you to be on American Idol. She was working on The Real, volunteering her time, which is a talk show. This lady offered my daughter a job designing the contestants on American Idol. It paid very, very, very well. She took the job, worked at CBS Studios, designing the contestants, and she got so much of me in her that she convinced them to allow some of the contestants to wear my daughter's clothing line on the show while they were performing. And while they was on the show, my daughter took pictures of them. Hey, look, this is such and such contestant wearing boss mentality, blah, blah, blah. And she sold X amount of units of that. And I was just so proud. And that's how you honor your parents, man. You take what they give you. You take what your parents give you and you go get a bag and be successful. And then your parents is bragging, you know, and I see that a lot with some people. They're bragging on their kids. Yeah, my son's a sergeant over in such and such. And yeah, my daughter is running an investment firm. She's an investment banker and blah, blah, blah. That's how you honor your parents, by being successful and the choices you make. Everybody's going to make some tough choices. But can you get over those tough choices and start making quality decisions that have a better quality of life? That's how you honor your mother and your father. Staying out of their pockets. Going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a minute. I ain't judging nobody. It took me a while. I had some ups and downs. I was working at Ford, really young, making all this money. You know, I took the buyout, blah, 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 made certain choices. Then I got into real estate. And then my issue was the choices I was making in women. My parents was looking at me like, man, what is wrong with this now? Man, don't he know he choosing Canaanite women? Samson is out here choosing Delilah. I was not honoring my parents with how I picked. I had to get therapy for that. The cancer kind of warped my thought process a little bit. But you honor your parents with how you pick, the roads you choose, sticking with tough times. It ain't always going to be easy, man. Having goals. When you got goals wrote down on a piece of paper on your wall, I mean, that's my homework assignment to y'all. If you don't have goals wrote down on a piece of paper on your wall, I want it done within 30 days. And send me a picture of it to askcharlienewhart@gmail.com. Write some goals down. Go after them. It'll help you not care about what other people are doing around you. That's how you honor your mother and your father. How you pick. How successful can you be? And it ain't even about trying to be a billionaire. But if you could just be stable, stick to tough times, ride it out to see some success with those tough times. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, man, especially now after the shutdown and all that. Sometimes you kids got to go back home, restart, blah, blah, blah. But don't be living with your parents for 2 years, not paying rent, and not have nothing to show for it but vacation pics. What was you doing with yourself in that time? Go get a trade. Obviously, what you doing ain't working. Go get a real estate license or something. I don't know. If I see my kids have made a mistake, but they working towards trying to make it better, trying to do something, okay, I'll give you a shot. You tried something, you took a risk, it didn't work. You tried a relationship, it didn't work. You tried this route, it didn't work. Now I see you like, man, I'm back in school to try to do this. I don't mind helping you, but just don't be a loser. And all you want to do is post pics. Come on, man. Tripping. I have another theory. Women who've dated other women secretly hate men. Women who are willing to date other women and somewhere in their past, like they dated, like I ain't talking about, I mean, even both. You had a sexual experience with another woman as a woman. I'm talking about like double dildo bang out action. Or you let her hit you with a strap or you hit her with a strap. Either that or like you just full time had a girlfriend. As an adult, you was 20 years old and for 2 years, all you dated was women. There's something wrong with them women. I feel like they secretly hate men. I feel like they think they're better than men. I think it's something mentally ill. I think it's something mentally ill wrong with someone who just decides I'm going to date same sex. I want the whole world to acknowledge this as a relationship. What you want to do behind closed doors sexually, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, okay, you got a thing for your same sex. Just don't bring it to me. But when you want to bring this out into the world and say, this is my girlfriend and y'all in love and y'all gonna get married. I'm like, okay. But you want me to acknowledge that? I feel like those women, there's something wrong with them women, man. And now all of a sudden you cured from that. Now you want to get into a relationship. She's going to give that man a hard time. That's my theory. A woman who is willing to get into a relationship with another woman or who has been in relationships with women in the past, she secretly hates all men. She thinks she can do it better, which is why she's like, forget men. I'm just going to get me a woman and we're going to double dildo strap up. I'm not interested in a woman who used to date other women. I'm all set. Now this is a touchy subject. Now, if you had some relations going on behind closed doors, you and another woman, two women, you know, and you done with that, then okay. But if we out and about and we both looking at the hoes together, like, oh, look how thick. I don't know. Maybe that. Here's the thing. Hoes is fun, man. People don't talk about that enough. We dog hoes and say, man, you can't make a hoe a housewife and you can't take a hoe out in public and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, that's partially understandable. But also, too, man, hoes are fun. They fun to be around short term. Fun to be around, fun to have, you know what I'm saying? In the bedroom, they fun. Out in public, you clowning. When you get drunk together, it's hoes can be fun for a season. But let that be that. Let that be the season. It's like, I had fun with you. You take care of yourself. But the moment you try to transition that hoe to the other side, that's when you're going to have problems, because it's like she can't assimilate into the world of structure. You know what I'm saying? Wise thoughts, going to work every day, doing regular stuff. See, problem is you be going to work, doing regular stuff. You work a 9-to-5 job. You've been doing that for 4-5 years, building up your 401k. You're also in school at the same time. You didn't graduate school. You got a structured life. You own a home, couple cars, and all of a sudden something happens in your life and it shifts you. And then all of a sudden you want to be irresponsible for a season. And then when you're irresponsible for a season, you start messing with these hoes who've been irresponsible their whole life. Now you messing with them, you having fun because you used to these square broads who want you to make love to them face to face, real slow. You meet this hoe who's like, look, dog, pee on me, choke me, slap me, throw me down some stairs. And you like, whoa, what is this? You done stepped away from your stable 9-to-5 life. Now you dealing with this hoe. She's fun. And then after 2-3 months, it's like, or maybe let's just call it a month. After a month, it's like, all right, man, I got to get back on this program, man. Going to work. Now I got to pursue my master's. I got to get back in church. Dog, you done stopped going to church to start to pee on this hoe in the shower. Now it's like, man, let me get back on point, man. So you go back to your stable life of what you've been used to your whole life. You done had fun for a month. This person's used to having fun and going crazy every day. Now you go back to work, and then you got this soft heart for this hoe. Like, man, what's it look like for me to bring her into this structured world? I had so much fun with her. Come with me. I don't want to leave you there. Come with me. You bring her into your world, and now your world's chaos. Absolute chaos. Because it's like you got to go to work in the morning. She on the porch drinking at 4 a.m. on the phone with her family, being nostalgic, talking about old times. And you're like, hey, this is Wednesday. I got to go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Can you hang up the phone? You never let me do what I want to do. You're always judging me. And you in the back of your mind, like, I got to get up 2 hours, man. What the hell have I brought into my house? You done brought somebody from the dungeon into the straight path when they used to living in the dungeon. That's why you got to be careful about the times in your life when you pick. You out having fun. You done stepped off the path. That's not a time to bring somebody into your life and choose somebody from the dungeon. You attract what you are. While you on the path, I was talking to somebody. Somebody typed in the chat here weeks ago that, you know, they was in the gym working out and they met their girl while they was in the gym working out. And it's like, and now they've been married or whatever, a couple of years, whatever the case may be. They have similar interests. Like when you on the path, who you choose while you on the right path means more than who you choose. And when you choose to step off the path and go do dibble dabble and whatever, hoes is going to be fun. Let them be fun. Have a good time. But you leave that hoe right there when you got to get back on the path. Don't try to bring her with you. Stop bringing people from the dungeon onto the path. You tripping. And you got to be willing. You got to be willing to let a hoe be a hoe. And stop trying to change her. If she want to go out and hit 20 dudes, that's your thing. You know, go do what you want to do. But just be careful how you deal with her. There's too many of us have the God complex, which is pride of life. We think because we got so much knowledge, so much information, we can change people and make them be what we want them to be. And then that's where you make a mistake. And that's what Master Splinter would tell you, the wise wet rat. Stay away from the hoes, my son. You know what I wish sometimes? When I'm sitting in a restaurant, this is how my crazy mind thinks. When I'm sitting in a restaurant, I wish, like I'm just, here's the scenario. I'm at a breakfast spot, sitting at the bar eating. I wish sometimes a 95-year-old white dude would walk in and he's having a brain relapse. In his mind, he thinks it's 1955 or 1960. And he walks in and he sees me in the restaurant and just walks in and slaps me in the back of the head. Pow! What are you doing sitting over here, boy? This is the whites only section. Go over there to the colored section. And his family tries to tell him, like, hey, Danny, this is not that time no more. And Danny's beside himself. No, this nigger's not supposed to be here. He's supposed to be in the colored section. He tries to fight me and we square up in the restaurant. Me and Danny, he's 95. Then I pop Danny in the face, and somehow Danny gets the best of me and beats the dog shit out of me in the restaurant. And it makes the news. That's where my mind is when I'm at a restaurant somewhere eating. Like, man, that'd be so sweet if this 95-year-old white Danny walks in and just slaps me in the back of the head and forces me to a colored section that don't exist no more. That'd be so lit. I have a problem. That's why I'm a writer and a comedian. Like, what would because I think the reason I think that way is I'd be like, how would I behave if I grew up in that time? You know, and of course I'm taking this 2025 mindset with me, but how would I behave? I feel like I got a booger on my nose. How would I behave in that time frame? I don't know. That's just off the top of the dome. That's what I wish would happen sometimes, if some dude would just walk in and pop me in the back of the head. How many of y'all ever been locked up? Type it in chat. I've been locked up a couple times. You know, I ain't gonna front. It wasn't no like long 40-year Fed sentence or nothing like that, but I've been locked up. I remember one time I got locked up, and I was doing so much that I was almost happy to get locked up because I just slept for the whole day. It was one of them cells that were like the concrete bed slab was connected to the sink and the toilet. It's on one wall. I laid on that concrete slab. I remember I had I had a t-shirt on and a regular shirt. I took the outer shirt off, made it a little pillow. I laid down on that concrete slab and slept for 12 hours. Peaceful, amazing sleep. And it's funny because around that time, you know, you'll wake up every now and then, you hear dudes who claim to be hard calling for their mamas. Get me out of here. Man, I'm here with my mom. Oh, I don't believe none of this stuff that I see where dudes be claiming to be so hard. It'd be the same dudes going crazy when they get locked up, calling for your mama. I folded up that shirt and slept for 12 hours like a baby. Got up, got video arraigned, yada, yada, yada. You know, was in there for a little while and got released. But the whole time I was there, I was resting. They slid a little tray under the hookup with the little garbage food on it, ate a few pieces, went back to sleep. Because really, in some cases, by the time you get locked up, depending on what you was doing, you've been wanting to rest and just didn't have a chance to. Now it's like, nothing else matters. I can't go nowhere. I'm just going to sleep. Knocked out. Tell me about y'all experiences when you was locked up. Type it in the chat. And then what it taught you. I think what I learned by being locked up a couple times is that there are people who are purposely doing things to you for you to make a bad decision, for you to get locked up, and then they'll be pointing at you like, see what you did, see what you did. So now I'm aware before I jump off because I have a temper sometimes. And I just do my best to try to make wise decisions so I could be around for my family. And because I don't want nobody else having control of me. I feel like if somebody can say or do something that makes me react a certain way, they have control over me. So I'm like, no. And that's what helps me control how I behave, being locked up those times. And one of those times was, somebody did something and I overreacted. And then I'm looking in jail like, dang, they did something that made me react. And now my future's in jeopardy because of something that they did. I never want that again. Never want that again. What else do I have? I was thinking about my dad's friends the other day. My dad has some colorful friends. I remember I bought a Jaguar one time. I got a check from a commercial. I wanted to show off this car. When I bought this car, I wanted to show it off to my dad. My dad's the hot rod guy. All his friends been, racing cars since the 70s. My dad's the car guy. You buy a car, you bring it to my dad to show it off. Everybody did it in the neighborhood. All the family did it, you know what I'm saying? So I bought a Jaguar. I take it to my dad, and all his homeboys is at the house. I'm talking about my dad, and I remember their names. Raleigh, John Bonnie. What was dog's name too? I'll remember it later. Roger Norton. My dad. I remember my dad's friends' names like it was yesterday. So they sitting at the house. I pull over with this Jaguar, and I get out with a smile on my face. It's a beautiful black Jag, and my dad's like, "Hey, Charlie, got you a Jaguar, huh?" And all his friends is chuckling. I'm like, "Man, what this nigga's laughing at, man? It's a nice car, Charlie." "Yeah, man, okay. It's Jaguar, huh? You know they market these to the homosexual community." And all his friends is laughing. I'm like, "What you talking about?" Yeah, they mark Jaguars. They market these cars to the homosexual community. Yeah, they call them fagwars. All his friends bust out laughing, and I get rid of the car in like 3 days. Well, probably about a week. Clowning me. My dad had such colorful friends, though. I feel like he came alive around his friends, especially the Joker. He had a friend named Raleigh who was old as dirt, like 75, and he had his hair dyed like this burgundy red and combed over, and he always wore these tight jeans. And whenever you asked him a question, he had something very comical to say with the question. You said, "How you feel, Raleigh?" No. What did I ask him one day? I said, "What's the deal?" I said, "Raleigh, what's the deal?" He said, "Sex appeal." And I got it. That's what the deal is. Everything you said to him, he found a way to make it rhyme and say something colorful. Who else was funny? John Bonnie. I had a 80 Ford Cutlass with a 350 Chevy in it, turbo 350. I'll never forget, yellow. I had this like pearl yellow paint on it. 212s, MSD ignition, headers. It was fast. Two-door Cutlass Supreme. And I bought some Dayton's from my boy Antonio. Dayton's on Vogues, because he had bought some gold Dayton's he wanted to put on. So I bought his chrome ones. So I'm at my dad's house. I'm putting Dayton's on the car in front of all his friends. My dad had a big pole barn in the backyard with a hoist. It held maybe 10 cars. Had all the tools, jack, everything you need. So I'm jacking up my car to put these Dayton's on. And all his friends is over talking trash. "I wouldn't put them Dayton's on there, Charlie. You know they're going to spin off." "Wayne, why you letting your son put Dayton's on this car, man? You know them young boys is going to be after him, man. Don't let him do that." They talking trash to me. My dad talking trash. I'm trying to just rush to put the Dayton's on to get away from these dudes. So I put them all on. And if you know anything about Dayton's, you got to hit that knockoff. You got to put that knockoff on there tight. You got to put the hub on first, then the rim, then the knockoff. So in rushing, I don't know if I did a complete job. I rushed. I put the Dayton's on. I left. I went to go play basketball. I was in a basketball league with my job. So I went to play basketball, played the game, had my girl with me at the time. Matter of fact, the person I had with me is the person who ended up popping me. So she with me. We go play the game. I'm leaving. Dude pulls up next to me in the Trans Am, wants to race. I can't even hold myself. I race him. I'm racing dog on Wayne Road and Romulus, and I'm eating him up too. Man, I went to hit a turn, a little bit of a turn at like Wayne Road and E-Course. It's a little bit of a turn right there. I turned and one of the Daytons flew off the Cutlass. I watched it fly off my car like a deer and go into the woods. So I got sparks coming up. Boom, the car hits the ground. It's amazing it didn't flip. I drive over to the side of the road. Never found the wheel. I'm talking about that night or the next day. So now I took the Daytons off, put the rallies back on, and then see John Bonnie again. What happened? Your daddy told me what happened. Put them Daytons on, huh? I told you them things spin off. And I'm like, I was trying to rush to get away from your mouth, dog. Rob, my dad's other friend, his name was Rob. Now, all these friends got hot rods. Rob had a Malibu wagon with a 400 in it. Raleigh had a 79 Camaro with a 406. No, he had a 383 stroker. This is over most of y'all heads. Y'all don't really know old school cars. Rob had a Nova. No. Charles from Flint had a Nova, a 72 Nova with a big block in it. Roger had a Beretta with a big block. Like all his friends. But you know what? John Bonnie, who had the most mouth, didn't have a car. Now that I'm thinking about it, man. He had the most commentary, no car. Telling me about these Daytons. It flew off. It went into the woods. Shout out to John Bonnie. He was so funny. Every time he saw my dad, he'd be like, man, your dad, he don't never say nothing. He don't never talk about what he working on. He one of them secret agent type niggas, man. I love my dad's friends. They so colorful. A lot of my dad's friends are the inspiration for some of the characters that I write in some shows and some sketches, because it's like they was all, my dad kept a community of just funny people around him, man. I love that about my dad. My dad always kept some hilarious characters around him. So, and then it makes me think of like your kids is watching you, who you bring around, your friends, how y'all talk. There's so many things shaping your children you don't even realize sometimes. My son's on the football team at high school, and man, I've been working with him. He's a receiver. We've been catching passes since he been catching 4 or 5 years old. So he's got a game. So before his game, we did a little like he said, Dad, let's go outside. I want to run some routes. There's some routes I'm having trouble with. Let's go outside. It almost brought tears to my eyes. Like, man, I remember me and my man's been playing football and running routes since he was like 4 or 5. Now here he is, 14, on his team, running routes, and we practicing outside. I videotaped it. But the fact that he wanted to go outside, of course, part of that too is like I had to cut off the internet, you know, because a lot of these kids just want to stay inside on phones and tablets, and we blaming them. Like, why they only want to stay inside? Because you let them. Cut the internet off. Get rid of it. I got rid of my internet about a month ago. Y'all going to be outside. It's time to participate with real life. Y'all on these phones and tablets too much. And let's play board games. I got Monopoly, checkers, chess. I got the Monopoly card game. Sit down and play some old school games with your kids and have conversations. Don't just put the tablet in front of them and blame it on them. Take the stuff from them. So the fact that my dog wanted to go outside and we ran routes yesterday and taped it, I had a good time. Let me tell you something else I did too. I'm going to say this. Closing. My son, my little baby boy, my 8-month-old Cassius. One of the things me and his mom agrees on is that we don't want him to get a whole bunch of Maxines, right? So some of them we waited on. The first one, this is called the RSV, Nursivimab for infants less than 20 months old. We never gave him that, and it's aged out. Now it says it's aged out. We can't give him that one. The HPV, which one did we do? We didn't give him the DTaP. That's overdue. I got the list here because I took him to the doctor the other day. Some phenomenal vaccine. That's overdue. DTaP vaccine, Hib vaccine, 3 or 4. We didn't. These are all overdue. IPV vaccine overdue. Rotavirus vaccine overdue. Hepatitis B vaccine overdue. Influenza vaccine. That's due October 1st. I ain't giving him that. So we gave him a couple. The meningococcal vaccine is a 1 or 2 dose series. We gave him one of those. Varella vaccine, we gave him one of those. MMR1. You was reading this? Yeah, it's a good book. All right, babe. My 8-month-old son, Cassius, me and his mom agree that we just not going to give him certain vaccines. One of them, the RSV Nursivimab, that aged out. We never even gave it to him. He's fine. The DTaP vaccine's overdue. HIV vaccine, IPV vaccines overdue. We never gave him the influenza vaccine. I ain't giving him that. Hepatitis B vaccine. So we gave him the meningococcal vaccine. We gave him one of those. Varicella vaccine, one of those. MMR vaccine, one of those. So like 3 or 4 we gave to him. The rest we was like, no, we don't want to give him that. So I tested the theory. I gave him some peanut butter the other day, a couple weeks ago. He's fine. No issues, no allergic reaction. Peanut butter with celery a few times, and then peanut butter snacks. Then I gave him some salmon, fish, no issues. It's like, my man has no allergies. I feel like a lot of these vaccines is making these kids soft. They can't eat peanut butter. These vaccines and this food making these kids soft. Why we can't eat peanut butter? So I just didn't give him some of these vaccines, and he's fine. He's a happy, joyous, healthy baby. Now, I ain't saying don't give your kids none of the vaccines. What I'm saying is do your research. Find out, like, do they really need something like 3 doses of something before the age of 18 months? We just do whatever people telling us to do. Challenge it. Do your own research and challenge it. Stop putting all of these vaccines in your babies, man. Stop giving them all this trash food. My son is not allergic to peanut butter or fish. A lot of these kids, some of this autism is being related to some of these vaccines and some of this food. I'm just saying, look, do your research. That's all I'm telling you. You may find through your research that it's cool for you to give your kids these vaccines, and more power to you. I'm not the guy to tell you there's certain things you better not be doing with your kids. I don't know. Your kids is your kids. It's different. I'm just saying, do your research, pray about it. And you may find out through prayer and research and having conversations with other people that you may not need to give them. Stop just doing everything that you're told to do. Stop being robotic, especially in this economy, in this world, this society. We so robotic. They tell you to take a vaccine. You're like, oh, okay, it's going to make me better. Okay, but look at all the blood clots and all the trash that's happening with people, man. You feel me? Do your research. And in closing, Splinter was a wet rat who climbed out of the sewer and schooled ninjas on how to fight, as a wet, wise rat. That's weird. He was high. Some women who are asked to take the Plan B is because, we don't want to have an ugly kid. What else? Check out the Cop and a Half, Burt Reynolds piss scene. It's a little weird. Would you rather? Think about that. Type that in the chat. Would you rather have be cockeyed or have missing side teeth? Would you rather have herpes or 6 kids and 4 baby mamas? And also, women who are willing to date other women, do they hate men? Are those women a problem? Hey, check out the website, ilovecharlienewhart.com. The movie's coming out soon, Broken Parts. I give you a chance to support. You'll be able to check it out. A screening on red carpet coming soon. Man, it's dope stuff dropping that I'm so excited about it. I can't even contain myself. Hey, man, if you walking into the titty bar and you got on shorts and no drawers, you a nasty dude, man. I love y'all because I love myself.